everyone, welcome to my kitchen in the desert. So today I'm going to cook in Palm Desert instead of Irvine, and so the setting is slightly different from what you've seen so far. Today we're going to make something very special, a very special kind of pasta, stuffed pasta called Tortellacci di Zucca. So zucca means pumpkin in Italian, and since we are getting closer to Halloween, I thought it would be a good idea to have a pasta recipe with pumpkin. This recipe comes from the region of Emilia-Romagna, and it's also common to some parts of Lombardy. And in Emilia-Romagna it comes from the city of Ferrara, and in Lombardy, the city of Mantua, for instance, is where you can find a very similar kind of pasta. For it, we will first make the dough for the pasta, and then I'll show you how to do the stuffing. And just very quickly for the ingredients, you will need about 500 grams of white flour and roughly one big egg for each 100 grams of flour. So if you have big eggs, 5 eggs for 500 grams of flour would suffice. If the eggs aren't that big, then you may need a few more eggs. And that is the basis for the dough. And that's common to all kinds of pasta that is made with eggs. Not all Italian pasta is made with eggs, only certain kinds of pasta, but definitely for this kind of recipe and for all kinds of stuffed pasta, you need the dough with the eggs. Then for the stuffing, you'll need pumpkin, and we're going to go with about 500 grams of pumpkin that I've just cooked in the microwave. And you'll need about 80 grams of parmesan cheese and about 30 grams of these biscuits called amaretti, typical from Italy. You can find them in all sized Italian stores, or you can get them online. And then you will need also some one egg to assemble the stuffing together. These are the ingredients for this is the flour for the pasta, and then we're going to add the eggs. So for 500 grams, it's going to be 5 eggs. You can just go like this. Two, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that's it, and we're gonna mix everything now. We're going to stop here. We'll remove it from the mixer, and you see it's quite sticky. It has to stick to your fingers. And now we're going to remove everything without cutting ourselves, of course. And that's it. Okay. So now we have our bowl of pasta. It's very, very sticky, but it's okay. We're going to use some flour later on when we're going to roll it to make it less sticky. And that's it. This is our bowl of pasta. The dough for the pasta. Okay, roll it a little bit like this, just to, and you see it is sticky, but not too sticky in the sense that it can still come off your fingers. So that's it. Basically, we have our dough for the pasta, and we can actually put it on a side here. I'm going to put it in this little bowl, and I'm going to start preparing the stuff. These are 500 grams of pumpkin. I removed the skin of the pumpkin and the seeds, of course, and I put it in the microwave to soften it. So now you see you can easily break it like this. And basically we put the the pumpkin inside the mixer. Maybe we want to cut it a little bit in a coarse way. If there is any skin left, you want to remove it. Yeah, there's some here, for instance, that is not going to be nice. So all the hard parts have to be removed before preparing this mix. Okay, so we go like this. We put it in the mixer. Okay, and we finish it off with this. I also put a little bit of coarse sea salt on top of the pumpkin, so that it's a little bit more tasty, but not too much, because we're going to add some further ingredients for this. We're going to add some parmesan cheese here. So for that quantity, 500 grams of pumpkin, we're going to add 80 grams of parmesan cheese. So basically half this container. Something like that. We can, it really depends on your taste. Then the very secret ingredient of this recipe is this kind of biscuit called amaretti, which are typically Italian. You find them in many specialized stores. You should put about 30 grams of amaretti. So about, let's count them, 3, 6, 9, let's say 12. And the nice thing is that they are very hard. So once you put them in the mixer, they will really work like breadcrumbs. But of course they are kind of sweet. So it depends really on whether you prefer to have it quite sweet stuff for the pasta, or whether you want it less sweet. If you want it less sweet, you put a little less amaretti, and you put a bit of bread. Again, this is bread that I toasted, and you'll have more breadcrumbs. It's really up to your taste. There is no fixed quantity. So let's see how it goes here. It's a bit too liquid now, but the taste is very nice. So if you see that it's too liquid, like, you want it to be a bit thicker than this, you may do various things. You can add some bread to give it a little bit more texture. And you can always add a little bit more biscuits if you want to. So I'm going to add a couple of them just to make it thicker. And you can always add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So let's see how it goes with pasta, like all kind of food products, is not a precise science. It varies very much with the kind of ingredients you're using. So the pumpkin may be more or less full of water. It depends on where you are. So we are in the desert here, and the reaction of the ingredients in the desert in this very dry and hot climate is different than the reaction, the chemical reactions really that they have in a different climate. And we see that even more with the dough, that really affects everything a lot. So that's why one cannot be precise and give a recipe that works perfectly everywhere at every time. There are all these further conditions that really interfere with the results. But anyway, we're gonna get that. Right. So now we have our stuff. We can leave it here if we want to. We can put it in the fridge for a little while, so that helps make it thicker, of course. Maybe you want to cover it if you put it in the fridge. Okay, so now we are gonna roll our dough. I have my little machine, pasta machine, but if you don't have it, then you can roll it with a roller. So this is the dough. I put some flour on it, and here we go. Put some more flour, because otherwise it gets stuck. So the secret here is to roll it multiple times. And this machine allows you to control the rollers inside and make it larger or wider or less wide and narrow. And as a result, the dough gets rolled thinner or thicker, as you can see. So I go a couple of times, 3 times maybe for each size. There are numbers here. So you start with the wide rollers, and then you go to the ones that make it thinner. And here we go. But remember, always roll it at least 2 or 3 times for each position in the pasta machine. Okay, once more.
Pretty long.
Okay. So we may try another little one, but you don't want it too thin either, because the kind of stuff we're going to put inside is quite liquid, as you saw before, so it's important that the pasta is thick enough to carry it. Okay, so this is our first slice, and we can let it sit a little bit here. Since I have a very small surface, I'm gonna cut it in 2, like this, and I can leave this here. And now you should cut the pasta. Now, the shape you're gonna choose is gonna determine the final result. And there are two ways you can do it. I'll show you the simpler way first, and then I'll show you the more complicated one. So let's take our stuff, and with 2 teaspoons, we're gonna put a little bit of the pumpkin here. And here, let's say, go like this, more or less the same quantity. And we have 3 little bowls of pumpkin stuff. Then we gently fold the pasta like this, the dough like this, and we press with our hands, fingers, and make sure to eliminate the air that inevitably gets stuck inside as you do this. So you do your little tortelli, as we call it in Italian. Then you may want to help yourself with a fork like this to give it a nice shape. Then you want to cut it here, so we create the first one. Actually, there's a little bit too much pasta on this side, so I'm going to remove some and just do like this with the fork in order to make sure that the dough is really closed, because otherwise once you put it in hot water it will open up and it's not going to be nice, right? You're going to lose the stuff. So we go like this, and we do the same here. So these are tortelli, what in Italian is called tortelli alla zucca, pumpkin tortelli, dumpling, if you will. And as you can see, it's very easy to make it. And it's quite satisfying, I have to say. But if you want to experiment a little bit more, I'm going to put these 3 guys here. You can really, ravioli, I made a mistake. These are called the ravioli, dumplings in Italian. We can actually make tortelli. And there, things are a little bit more complicated. Decide what kind of size you want to make your tortelli. They're going to be smaller than ravioli for sure. So this is roughly, I obtained 3 slices now. And now I'm going to cut it again in the opposite direction to create little squares. Not too small, because this kind of tortelli needs to be a little bit big. If you were making tortellini, for instance, that come from Bologna and have meat inside, then you would have to make the squares much, much smaller than that. So, for tortellini, for instance, this would be already big. And in fact, for our tortelli di zucca, we're going to go with something this size. Okay, so I'll show you how to do this. You take much less stuff, so half, I would say, than the quantity we put there. In fact, even less maybe, because we want to make sure to be able to fold it. It happens, not a big deal. Okay. Right. So here we have our little square. We fold it in this way to create a triangle like this. And then we press with our fingers on the edge in order to make sure that it really sticks together. Then we put our finger here, we turn the other side of the pasta here, and then we press with our thumb like this. And this is a tortello. So you see, this is the shape that it gets. Now, as I told you, we are in the desert, so the climate is totally different. It's getting very dry very quickly. So, you know, now I'm going kind of slow to show you how I make these tortelli, but it's really affecting the pasta. So I make my triangle like this. I put my finger here and turn it and close it. This is how you make tortelli. The third one, and then I'll stop, is like this again. Here we have our square. We fold it like this. We form a triangle. We press it so that it's very close and put our finger here. We turn it and press with our thumb. So basically you stuck the pasta, the dough in between your fingers like this. Okay guys, so this is what we did. Isa, my daughter, helped me. So here we have tortelli di zucca, and here we have ravioli. In order to go faster, we made more ravioli than tortelli. And now I'll show you how to cook them. So Isa, take over, please. Okay. So come with me. The most important thing whenever you cook pasta is to have boiling water, quite a lot of water inside the pan, and put coarse sea salt.
Let's just show them the salt.
Okay, so like this. This is a small pan for the tortelli, and this is a bigger one for the ravioli. This is basically what we do.
Yeah.
Now that the water is boiling like this,
be careful, guys.
See, be careful, of course.
It's really hot.
I'm gonna put the tortelli here
with the spatula that I like, because we got 3 spatulas because I wanted 2 of them. This is one of the one. Don't have it.
Okay, it will cook very fast, so we're gonna go one at a time.
Yeah.
Don't follow me. This is not very interesting. Show the tortelli. So you see the tortelli.
Here's
we don't want
tortelli. You can see better here.
Completely.
Yeah,
so soon they will come up.
When they're ready, they're going to come up.
Yeah.
As you can see, some already are coming up. As
exactly.
you can see.
And then you leave them a couple of minutes once they all come up.
Yeah.
So that they cook, but they don't overcook. They don't have to be slimy. They have to have some texture. And in the meantime, I also melt some butter, which we're going to use to garnish the tortelli. So let's give them another minute or so.
And yeah, you don't want even to do it brown. You just want to do it the same color, just slightly browner, but don't burn them too much, or they're going to be like burnt toast.
So let's see if they're ready.
Are they good or not?
I think they are cooked. So now we turn off this one. Follow me.
Oh, follow you. We're being careful.
Be careful.
Yeah, really careful.
Very careful. Very careful. Okay. Where's my steamer? Here.
Steamer.
So I can just
put it in, in a simmer. Put it in a simmer, so then the water goes down, but the tortellini are still,
So it doesn't have to have water. So you have to make sure that there's no water left.
Now, slowly and quickly. I don't know why I'm laughing so much.
And then you can garnish everything with a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
And
Like this.
and
A
this,
little bit of pepper. Then you finish it off with some crumbles of amaretti. So the biscuit that you put inside, the stuffing, it's now put a little bit like this on top of the dish. And that's it.
yeah. Bye.
So guys, I hope you like this recipe. It's very nice. It's vegetarian friendly. As I said, it's the basics for the dough are the same for any kind of stuffed pasta. And so it's all for now. Goodbye and enjoy. Bye.